Back. Well, if you're going away for this holiday and not taking your pet with you, you'll need to think about how your pets are going to spend that time and where. SPCA spokesperson Keshvi Nair joins us now to give us some tips and advice. Keshvi, around this time, people are just traveling. It's a busy time and sometimes they cannot take their pets along with them. What are the options that are available to us who have got these furry family members who need to be left someplace safe and be given the equal amount of care whilst we're away?
Well, first prize is actually to be with your pet. If that can mean two things. You either stay at home with your pet. We are entering the fourth wave. It doesn't matter whether you're fully vaccinated or not. A lot of people are still getting infected. And if that's not reason enough to keep yourself and your family safe, if that's not reason enough for you to stay at home with your pet, then that's very scary. So first prize would always be to stay at home with your pet. If that's not possible, then consider going on holiday with your pet. Is the destination that you're going to, if it's a family member's house, why can you not take your pet with you? If you are going away on holiday, we live in a day and age where there are Airbnbs, where there are accommodation facilities that allow you to bring your pet with you. So if you are going away on holiday, consider taking your pet with you. And if that's what you're going to do, there are obviously steps that you need to take. You need to make sure whether the place that you're going to, if they have animals there, is your pet and those animals, are they compatible? Does your pet travel well in the car? So you'd have to do a test drive with your pet before you go on holiday and see how your animal reacts to being in the car. And your local veterinarian will be able to help you if you see that your animal doesn't do well with traveling. You can go to the veterinarian and he or she can help you with medication to help keep your pet calm while you are traveling with your pet. And if you are in the worst possible scenario where you cannot take your pet with you, there is still no excuse to leave your pet home alone for extended periods of time. So if you're in a position where you cannot take your pet with you, you cannot stay at home with your pet, then we would recommend that you have somebody that you know and that you trust and that you can vouch for to stay at home at your house with your pet, because your animal will be familiar to your home's surroundings and to that person. So try and get somebody that your animal knows, somebody who frequents your house. If that's not possible, then obviously your pet can go to maybe their house. Again, you'd have to make sure that if that person has animals, does your pet and do their animals, are they compatible? Because you don't want to find yourself in a situation where, you know, your dog is staying with your uncle and his dog then decides to maul your little dog Fluffy. You really don't want to be in that situation. Yeah. So make sure that person's animals and your animals are compatible, firstly. Secondly, make sure that the person that you're leaving your pet with knows how to look after your pet. I mean, we're not only dealing with dogs and cats here. There are people who own farm animals. There are people who own small rodents, you know, guinea pigs, rabbits, for example. You need to make sure that those people know how to look after your pet adequately. And lastly, if you don't have anybody that can look after your pet, then you might want to consider putting your animal in a boarding facility. And again, make sure that the place that you're leaving your animal at, do your research. Make sure that that place is going to look after your animal adequately, correctly. Go to the facility beforehand, ask questions, see where your pet is going to be kept. Our SPCAs across the country, some of them do offer boarding facilities, so you can go there, and we can be trusted because we are a welfare organization. And yeah, if you cannot put your pet into a boarding facility and you want to get a pet sitter, I think this is a very touchy subject, and that's because you never really know what people are going to do. So if you are going to get a pet sitter, again, make sure that it's somebody that you can vouch for. Make sure that you've done your research, because animals can't speak. I mean, they can, you know, they have behavior. They can display different behavior, which will indicate to you that something is wrong here. But your dog is not going to be able to tell you that, hey, listen, the person that you left me with actually beat me up because I peed on the mat. Yeah. So be very, very careful.
Yeah. So just to interject there, Keshvi, and just because of time, but it often speaks to the trauma that animals get put under, and they can never vouch for, or they can't even speak for the trauma that they've been placed under. There's also something that that has also been mentioned, is that don't allow the pets to actually overindulge around this time, like keep to the actual diet themselves, and also be aware of the vaccinations that the pets need to go through, make sure that the vaccinations are also up to date, particularly around this time, because they're going to be interacting, if they are going to be interacting with other animals especially.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's definitely, to come back to what you said, point number one, don't overindulge your pets. One of the 5 freedoms of animals is to provide adequate food and water, freedom from hunger and thirst. And what that speaks to is ensuring that you've provided a diet that maintains the animal's health and vigor. By giving your dog the leftovers from your Christmas table, you're really not doing much good for the animal. They might end up getting more sick than they should be. And secondly, in terms of vaccinations, I'm sure a lot of people are aware, but there has been a rabies outbreak towards the end of this year, a couple months ago. And there are still a few random rabies cases in the country. So yes, keeping your animals' vaccinations up to date, regardless of the time of the year, actually should be very important to everyone who owns animals.